enjoyed the Jumat prayers and, of course, lunch? Thank you. Are there people in the hall? Are there Nigerians in the hall? Okay, so let's get the energy back in the room. So before we start, can I invite you to please stand up? Wherever you are, please stand up. As you are standing, and at this point, let me appreciate those that have been patiently waiting online. As at the last time I checked, we had about 23 of them. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you. So as you are standing, face somebody. I didn't say do any other thing, just face the person with a big smile. If you don't have a partner, you may need to walk up to someone else so that you can pair. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so between two of you facing each other, please decide who will be the president and who will be the captain. Between two of you, the president and the captain, please decide. Okay, have you decided? Please, can all the captains wave? All the captains. Great. Can all the presidents wave? Some people don't have partners. Okay, so we're doing the mirror game. So 3 key words: start, stop, and switch. When I say start, presidents in the house, can you wave? Presidents of different organizations, networks, yes, that's what we mean. Okay, now when I say start, you will start doing something, anything at all. Captain, you will watch and do exactly what the president is doing, right? The president's lead in every association. Now, when I say stop, both the president and the captain will stop. Then I say switch. Captain, you start doing something different from what president did. Then president, whatever you see captain do, you will do. Can I have a volunteer so that I'll quickly demonstrate this, hoping that other people can come back in so that we can start the next session. Can I have a volunteer to join me on stage so that we can demonstrate this? A volunteer? Nobody? Thank you, Madam Suweiba. Thank you. Can you appreciate her, please? At least now she makes me know that I'm not alone. Thank you. So between two of us, who should be president and who should? Okay, so I'll be president and you are captain. So for the game, when I say start, I will start doing something as president. Whatever she sees me do, she will do. Exactly. Then I say stop, both of us will pause. Then switch, she will start doing something different. I will follow her and do exactly that. So, Madam Suweiba, are you ready? Start. Stop. Switch. She's been preparing for me since. Can we appreciate her? Thank you very much. Please, can we get the air conditioning back in the hall? Thank you. So now you can face your partner. President, are you ready? Captains, are you ready? So, start. Stop. Switch. Camera, I hope you are getting them. We are looking for the best. Thank you. I can see Madam Mary Afan. Thank you so much. We can now sit down. So that was the self-care we had to do. We just had lunch. We've been eating since morning, and we need to allow the blood to flow through the veins. Thank you. Right now, in the interest of time, we are just going to take 2 more goodwill messages. And let me appeal to those that will be coming out to please stick to maximum of 1 minute. I'm going to be very strict with time now because we've gone beyond the stipulated time for this program. So to start the first speech, join me to welcome Dr. Harry Wang, the representative of the South Korean government. Please, can you warmly welcome him for the goodwill message? Nigerians are one people. We can do better. We can do better.
Good afternoon, everybody. Actually, my first language is Korean. 안녕하세요. 감사합니다. And my second language is English. As of today, I'm 75 years old. I was born 1950. 1950, Korean War happened. North Korea, China, Russia attacked South Korea. More than 5 million people died during 3 years war. So I was born 1950. When I was childhood, no food, no house, no school, nothing there. We survived. When I got in the university, I got in the teachers' university. 4 years. Then I became the teacher. I've been the teacher 10 years in Seoul. I got the plan to go to USA to get my PhD. So I went to USA, got my PhD, then I've been there almost 50 years in USA. So I'm Korean American. I got 2 passports, Korean and USA. So I've been working education most of my life. I built my own school in USA. I built my own university in USA. I invested almost $100 million to build schools all over. Last 10 years ago, I officially retired. I went to Cambodia to support their education. Then I opened the 4 schools in Cambodia, but during COVID, it was so tough, I shut down the 2 schools, still 2 schools in Cambodia. Very great. So many hundred young kids, they got the great education because we opened the school over there. I always say, education is the best investment. Education, education, education. The Korea now top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 countries in the world for, I say, economically. You know why? Most of Korean kids, they got in the university. So more than 90% of kids, they got the bachelor degree in Korea. That's why education, education, education. Samsung, Hyundai, Daewoo, so many big companies. How? 50 years ago, nothing was there. So I always say again, education is the best investment for our country and for our future. Thanks for essay, Dr. Jairu. He invited me here to Nigeria to work something together. Actually, this time I came here to work to build biopower plant in Nigeria. This morning, even I didn't know this forum. When I got here, it's education. I'm very happy to be here today. Okay, we gotta feed what? Kids. They have to eat, to study. I got the idea. Korea, we got the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. 4-5 months, winter time, Korea, we cannot do anything. Here, Nigeria, land is more than 10 times, 20 times, 30 times bigger than Korea. Great weather. Why we are hungry? I think we gotta get to something else. I got a couple of ideas. I'll talk to your leader. I'll talk to your Dr. Jairo. What can we do together? Yes, We have to feed them. They got to study. They got the beautiful future. I'm old. I don't know how long I can be there, but until I die, I do my best. My mission is for education. I will support education, especially for Nigeria. Next year, I'm going to move here. I'm going to stay here at least 4, 5, 6, 7 months in Nigeria to work with your teachers, with your schools. What can we do together? Again, I always say, help, share, and we can grow together. Thank you so much. Again, Dr. Jairo, really appreciate you inviting me to this beautiful forum today, and all the teachers, ladies, gentlemen, we can do together. We can, because we think we can. We have to make it. We can do that. Okay? Thank you so much again. Thanks. 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다. Korea.
All right, so I was asking him how we say thank you in South Korean language, and he said Kumas Medan. So can we do the Kumas Medan clap for him? Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for what you are doing. We look forward to you partnering with the Nigerian government to make sure that the school feeding program sees the light of the day and is sustained. Right now, can I ask if Ms. Chioma Adeze is here, the student from Mayondaga, Taraba State? Oh, yes, beautiful. So we can't be talking about children without having them speak to us. So please join me to welcome the young Shagir, the future leader of today, represented here by little Miss Chioma Adeze, student, Mayodaga School, Taraba State. That clap is not child-friendly. Please keep clapping. The more you clap, the more millions of children at home will know that they are loved by you.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, sirs. My name is Chioma Abez. I come from Special Primary School in Mayondaga. Thank you for the food you bring for us in our school, and may God bless you. His Excellency, the President of Federal Republic in Nigeria, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Honorable Minister of Education, the ECOWAS Commission, and Spanish government, the President of ACTIONAID, Nigeria, President of West Taraba State, all protocol during observe. Good morning, all. My name is Chioma Abeze.
How old are you? How old are you?
12.
Chioma is 12 years. And you know 12 is perfection in terms of the meaning. Now, Chioma has represented Nigerian children to acknowledge what you are doing. One more time, can we appreciate? Thank you so much. So, Chioma, can you give us the presidential wave with a big smile? You're not smiling. Now, do this. Wave. No, your right hand. So you are greeting them on behalf of Nigerian children, thanking them for feeding you, and we do hope that you'll be among the ambassadors to make sure that this works. Thank you so much. Yes, they say food is the fastest way to a man's stomach. From what Chioma has said on behalf of Nigerian children, it means that food security is the fastest way to securing the future of our children. So your coming here is that commitment. Now to wrap up the goodwill messages for us to now move into the panel discussion, join me to welcome the Honorable Commissioner of Education, Osun State, Honorable Dipo Eluwale, for a 1-minute goodwill message. Commissioner is here to hear you clap. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've all have our assumptions good. I'm here from Osun State to tell the gathering about our activities so far on what we have been doing here today. Actually, school feeding is one of the 5 cardinal points of our governor in Osun State. When we came, it used to be 100 naira per meal per pupil, but we increased it to 160 naira. Now, as at now, I can say it emphatically that only Osun State is undergoing school feeding in Nigeria. Last season alone, through this effort, we gained additional 11,600 plus new enrollment in our schools. From this, we engage like 600 food vendors that from this effort, they are earning their living. The government of Osun State is now working to send an executive bill to the House of Assembly to legalize and institutionalize school feeding in Osun. Osun is deworming pupils twice in a year. We are deworming our students twice in a year. Actually, it's a pity Dr. Mrs. Adeniji is no more here. Last year, when the federal government saw what we are doing in Osun State, they sent a delegation headed by Dr. Mrs. Adeniji. They were in Osun State for a week. They went around all the senatorial districts to see how we are feeding our pupils. What we are having now in Osun State is for the development partners, federal government, and all agencies, all stakeholders to assist us to be able to continue in that manner. Actually, we stopped the exercise February this year because of paucity of fund. It used to be 60% from the local government and 40% from the state. It is in the budget. But when the local government allocation stopped in February, so we can't go ahead. So we are just planning. We have a blueprint on it. This is our something. I can circulate it around. It can be circulated around for people to have it. So Osun is already on ground. And if you are going to the farm to plant maize, and along the line you get there, you meet a maize. So the next thing is to continue to clear the bush around. You don't need to venture anymore. So, however, I want to thank the federal government for what I'm seeing here today. It will be a boast for us in the country, especially Osun, that is taking the lead. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Osun State, for trailblazing. And we do hope that you will play the big brother role to make sure that other states also emulate the beautiful work that you are doing. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to move into a 30-minute panel that will be moderated. But first, join me to welcome the panelists, and then we'll bring up the moderator so that they can take us through the discussion around the policies of plates, investing in homegrown school feeding to enhance nutrition, national security, local food systems, human capital development, and sustainable economic growth. We have the panelists as Dr. Nuruddin Zauro, the technical advisor to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion. That clap, that clap, that clap, that clap. Let's do self-care. Let's re-energize ourselves with a smile. Thank you so much. He will be joined by Dr. Princess Aderemi Adebowale, the National Program Manager, National Homegrown School Feeding Program. Now the clap is reducing. To join them in the panel is Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. Okay, so to join them in the panel is Mrs. Abimbola Adesomi, Country Director, Partnership for Child Development. Also in the panel is Dr. Ladidi Bako MNI, Director and Head of Nutrition, Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. You need to clap so that this panel will be more engaging. I know they came fully prepared for us. Now to moderate the panel, join me to warmly welcome the Director, Sustainability. Okay, representing the private sector is Mr. Abdullahi. Please join me to welcome him. Mr. Sylvester, Doctor. Mr. Abdullahi representing private sector. Okay, Mr. Abdullahi is representing the private sector organizations. Please, can you warmly welcome them? We want to have that collaborative engagement this afternoon. And then we have Alhaji Sanusi Musa SAN. Please, can you join us representing the Peace and Conflict Resolution Team? Mrs. Abimbola Adesomi, Country Director, she's here already. Oh. Mrs. Abimbola Adesomi, Country Director, Partnership for Child Development. Okay, thank you so much. All right, now to moderate the panel for the next 30 minutes, join me to warmly welcome the Director, Sustainability, Precify, and that is Dr. Amina Adamu. You need to give that doctoral clap. Thank you so much. Apologies, somebody misplaced his or her phone. If your phone is missing, kindly meet me with proof of identification.
Good afternoon. His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, Senator. Hello, Senator Shetima. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. I would like to welcome you all to this interesting panel. We have a panel of distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and they are all subject matter experts in their respective capacities. I would like to start from the first distinguished gentleman on my right-hand side, National Security Advisor Alhaji Sanusi Musa San, Chairman, Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution. Sir, you are highly welcomed.
I thought I'm the last person. So when when you say the first person, call me.
Okay, yes, okay, the last person, but to me, you are the first on my list. I apologize for the mix-up. Yes, you are the first on my list. I would give you 3 minutes to respectfully request you to speak on national food security from your own perspective, and also I would like to know how homegrown food school feeding programs address national malnutrition and food insecurity in Nigeria. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, when I was contacted to speak here, I was thinking it would be more towards the area of peace and conflict resolution, national security on the issue, but I believe also I understand food security is part of it, but I'm a lawyer, not an agriculturist. But I think, be that as it may, there were gains that were made in terms of issue of food security, more especially with the coming of the APC government from 2015. You'll agree with me that we have made some progress in the area of addressing the shortage of fertilizer in the country. We've seen a situation whereby we've moved from where some political merchants monopolize the use of fertilizer for themselves. Now we to a situation whereby we now have fertilizer directly to the farmers, which really is a plus to food security in the country. Then we've also witnessed when the closure of the borders, which restricted the importation of rice. And we've seen the spring up of many rice mills all over the country because the appreciation in the price, which the closure of the borders now protect the farmers as well as the rice millers, in the sense that while before, because of the economy of scale enjoyed by the bigger farmers all over the world, our farmers in Nigeria cannot compete with them in price. That closure has really assisted the appreciation of price and made farming very attractive. And we've seen the advantage of that even during the COVID-19, when to some extent, despite the pandemic caused a lot of issue with respect to food supply to other countries, Nigeria somehow had an advantage because of the decision of the government to increase food security by encouraging production within the country. Now, putting this together with the issue of the homegrown national school feeding, I think the approach that has been taken now by the national program manager on the school feeding program is quite welcome. Welcome in the sense that she's now trying to reach out to smaller farmers directly to become the suppliers of those food items that are needed to feed these school children. Now, what that means is that, of course, they will have a kind of appreciation in the prices of their commodities, and also, which will now, then you now address the issue of financial inclusion, because those of them that were hitherto not captured in the formal financial sector, you now force them, because of the incentives they are seeing, you now force them to open an account, which means that you will have their identification, BVN, and also NIN. Now, for you to encourage, for you to achieve peace in the country, I've always said it that you have to address the issue of national identity. If you don't have identity of your population, then you have a big problem, because it will not be easy for the security agencies to track down those that are engaged in any activity that is contrary to what the state stands for in terms of promoting national security and peaceful coexistence in the country.
Yes.
So
sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. My apologies, sir.
No problem.
Yes, you have actually captured the topic in its rightful context.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
So you've talked about national security first and foremost, and you have linked it up with the national homegrown school feeding program. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the next distinguished gentleman, who is going to talk about nutrition and the local process. Okay, he's talking about local processing and the systems. Permit me to call on Alhaji Abubakar Garba Ibrahim.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Over 70% of Nigerian households are involved in agriculture directly. But according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, in 2023, about 64% of Nigerian households could not have access to sufficient food. It is an irony that about 70% of the population are involved in agriculture, and yet we are not able to provide sufficient food for the population. This is happening because one of the major challenges with Nigeria's agriculture is the subsistent nature of our agriculture. Our farmers are not producing enough. And this is majorly because our yield per hectare is one of the lowest globally. Take, for instance, our major staple, rice. Today, our average yield per hectare is less than 3 metric tons per hectare, while the global average is about 8.5. In other countries, like India and China, farmers are getting a yield of up to 12 to 16 metric tons per hectare. One of the greatest stories in our agricultural sector is the rice revolution championed by the previous administration. Nigeria jumped from, in 2017, total milling capacity, total processing capacity for rice in the entire country was about 300,000 metric tons. But by 2023, that processing capacity has jumped to about 13 million metric tons. Wow. But unfortunately, around this time last year in August, when we had the protests and all that, people crying of hunger, people crying of, we had the highest food inflation recorded in the country. I'm sure Dr. Nuruddin here can testify to the fact that around that time, food inflation rose to about 40.3%, which is the highest we've had in almost 40 years. And that happened because while we are investing in processing, which was largely driven by the private sector, Nigeria was not actually making commensurate investment in developing the smallholder farmer. We have built factories that have created so much demand for rice paddy, because by end of 2023, Nigeria was able to produce about 8 million metric tons with almost 13 million metric tons of processing capacity, which means you have a deficit of almost 60%. And even at that, the 8 million metric tons of the paddy produced, about 40% of it do not actually get to the integrated mills. So the homegrown school feeding program concept, homegrown means grown by the farmer. What we have is actually a situation where most of our farmers, not that they are engaged in production, but most of what they are producing is not the food they consume. The farmer in Kebbi or in Jigawa produces rice paddy. He's not going to consume rice paddy because he cannot process it. He doesn't have the capacity to process it in his house. He has to sell it. He's producing food, but that food is actually a cash crop, an income for the family. So that way, you have people directly involved in agriculture, producing food, but they don't have access to that same food.
Thank you.
So I believe...
Okay, 30 seconds. Thank you, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things I really love about the Renewed Hope Homegrown School Feeding Program is the fact that, the drivers of the program are now trying to push it back to bottom-top approach. So they are taking the consumption or creating the demand locally, and that local demand ensure that the local farmer produces the food he or his children consumes. So by the time we have the full rollout of the program, we are going to see some kind of substitution. Farmers producing sesame seed or farmers producing soybeans will now be producing what them and their children are going to produce, because they will have local aggregators in their own communities or cooperatives or community-based associations who are now going to be processing the food in their immediate communities, creating demand in their local communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful deliberation. We really appreciate it. So we have been able to recognize the issue of farmers producing produce and then they lack the capacity to process it, and the homegrown school feeding program would ensure that there's a synergy and there's a linkage between the producers, and then also the processors, and of course the final consumer, which is a very, very good, it's a welcome initiative. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next speaker, Dr. Ladidi, MNI. She's going to talk on nutrition and also the issues related to nutrition. I would like to know specifically what nutrition, what it contributes to the development of children and especially school children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Currently, Nigeria is battling with triple burden of malnutrition. We have high malnutrition among the under 5, and we also have a high dropout rate from the schools. And the drivers of malnutrition, we have things like the high cost of food items. We have the insecurity, which is making the farmers not to have access to their farms. We have the effects of the climate change, which is reducing the yield from the farm. And even the household, when they harvest, they prefer to sell everything instead of leaving some portion for consumption. So this affects the nutritional status of the children. And you see school children going to school without eating. and their nutritional needs is impaired, their immune system is low, they can come down easily with infectious diseases, they do not concentrate while they are in the school, their attention span is short, they get sick, they don't come always. So with homegrown school feeding, it will change the narrative if we are able to invest in it and make sure that all children, like the national coordinator told us earlier today, we shouldn't just concentrate on 1 to 3. It should be from preschool up to primary 6. For us in health, the first 1,000 days of life is very key. The 1,000 days of life, it's immediately the woman, it's confirmed pregnant up to when the child is 2 years. Because at this stage, if the required nutrients is met, then the cognitive development, the physical development of the child, the mental, the social, that is the formative stage. So when we get the 1,000 days of life nutritional needs correct, then the school, through the homegrown school feeding, the family now would be able to give the child the appropriate meal that contains the required nutrients. When that is done, the child will be enlightened. There will be an influence of the household, of the community, because when that child gets home, the child will also tell the parents, the caregivers, that these are the kind of foods that the child and other children within the family should be given so that they can grow well, so that they can have the required nutritional status, so that they can live a productive life. Because when the nutritional needs of a child is met at the formative stage, that is between when the child is born up to 8 years old, then the likelihood that the child will grow into a healthy adult, a productive adult, and also the child will economically be buoyant is very, very high. Then another thing that the homegrown school feeding will bring into the nutrition status is ensure that it will be an incentive. So parents will be encouraged to enroll their children. We have a success case of Oshun. Oshun shared a success case with us that within a year they had enrolled over 11,000 children into the school. Then the farmers, through homegrown school feeding, they will now be enlightened on cultivating nutrient-dense food. Right now, we are encouraging the farming of orange flesh sweet potato, which is very rich in vitamin A. And the vitamin A, it's a micronutrient that the children, over 40%, are deficient in. So with homegrown school feeding, we will be able to tackle this deficiency. Likewise, the anemia prevalence in the country for the under 5, it's about 58%. With effective implementation of homegrown school feeding, we will be able to crush the micronutrients deficiency in the country. And also, looking at economy, one of the issues that is making malnutrition to be on the increase is because of the high poverty rate. So if we're able to empower the small farm holders, if we're able to ensure that the vendors are from the community that are providing the food for the homegrown school feeding program, economically, they will be buoyant. And that will now help in ensuring that every household within that community are able to provide nutrient-dense food for the family. And this will now change the narrative. The current high burden of malnutrition that we are having, we will be able to reverse that case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. You've been able to link the benefits of homegrown feeding to the eradication of child malnutrition in a nutshell. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is the convener of this particular event, Dr. Zauro Nuruddin, technical advisor to the President on financial inclusion and also economic and financial inclusion, and also the also the head of the Secretariat of Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion. Thank you, please. Doctor, you have the floor.
Okay, so what should I?
We are going to talk on sustainable economic growth, and I would like you to answer some of this. How would your office deepen and sustain the school feeding program, and what policy frameworks would you intensify? Thank you.
Well, anyway, thank you so much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for your support, to make this program a reality. It is indeed really, really appreciated. On behalf of Mr. President, we sincerely appreciate you one more time. You see, for us here, we feel that it is important for us to convey people together in order to have these very important discussions on how we can institutionalize this very important sector, because we know that our youth are, of course, apart from the conventional way of saying leaders of tomorrow, but we also know that we have to invest in our youth, for us to make it happen. All the other speakers have spoken eloquently about that, but I think it is our duty now, after this conversation, courtesy of Mr. President, to see how we can put stakeholders together to put the necessary enabling framework and policies so that we will ensure sustainability of this program. For me, I do not think I need to go into numbers in terms of the impact and, of course, importance of these, our youth who are, futures of tomorrow, leaders of tomorrow, in terms of the role and importance they're going to have based on their contribution and, of course, for sustainable economic development of Nigeria. We all know that Mr. President has set a target for $1 trillion economy by 2030. Some people will look at it as being an ambitious target, but for us, in this space, we see it as conservative estimation, because when we get our acts right, we put the necessary enabling policies and procedures, in place. I can assure you that we will surpass this target. So as of now, there is no need of any discussions, and I am sure everybody is convinced that this administration is determined to to provide the needed enabling environment for this to happen. So that is why our collaboration with all the stakeholders in this room, especially the homegrown school feeding program led by Dr. Princess Aderemi, I think is a very fantastic one, and I assure you of the country's readiness to give it all the needed support, especially the impact it's going to have for sustainable economic growth and financial inclusion for Nigeria. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, in a nutshell, the Office of the Presified Secretariat is ready to deepen collaborations and also deepen, enable role players to actually achieve a successful outcome. Thank you. So next, seated by my immediate right, is herself, Princess Aderemi, the Special Advisor to the President on Home, National Program Manager of the National School Feeding Program. I would like you to talk about the main issue here, which is the three tiers of government, how they are going to contribute to the program and how we're going to have a successful outcome. In a nutshell, I would like you to speak on the local food system, and also it's just encompassing everything, the human capital development, the sustainable economic growth, because it encompasses everything, but particularly with relation to tiers of government, the CSR, DP, NGO, and NGO. So all the collective players, because you have the floor, you can speak on everything in totality.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. We are talking about the politics of plates. That is the title of this, this panel discussion. And when you look at the holistic approach to school feeding, I call it investing in homegrown school feeding to enhance the following: national security, we have heard about it; nutrition, we have heard about it; sustainable economic growth, we have heard about it; human capital development, we have heard about it; local food system, we have heard about it. All these roles that a singular project, which is the homegrown school feeding program, all encompasses all this and much more. If this program does not continue, we are here today talking about institutionalizing
and sustainability of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. What does that tell you? It tells you that everybody here, they are players. So just by feeding a child, you have this multiplier effects of what you can get when you feed the child. And that is why we said, let's start from the foundational years, from the early years. Feed the early years, primary 1 to 6. Once you do that, the smallholder farmers will have their own role. Now, I want to talk a bit about out-of-school children. If you don't continue to feed these children, make sure they come to school, they will continue to be a security threat to us. They will continue to be out-of-school children. And what we are trying to do in Homegrown right now, we start a program. We actually launched a program that was launched by the now APC National Chairman. He was the minister. He's still the Minister for Humanitarian, Professor Natawe. On May 27th, we launched the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, Alternate Education, and NIMSE. What are we saying? That we continue to feed these children wherever they are living at. We continue to teach them wherever they are at, and we make sure they get a national identity to be recognized as Nigerians. Now, we are not trying to bring these children from the informal setting of education to formal setting. And that is why it's very crucial that all of us, the 3 tiers of government, the federal government, the state and the local government, and the developing partners, come on this journey to make sure that we're able to institutionalize and sustain. I'm very proud of Oshun. The Commissioner for Education came to me and said, Princess, I said, Oshun, I know what you have been doing. And I'm still going to talk about Oshun. Oshun right now is the only state that I know in Nigeria that is doing something that is similar. The Commissioner said it. The local government, they are putting 60% of the funding into this program. The state government is putting 40% into this program. If Oshun can do it, I know Katsina wants to do it, Taraba wants to do it, Jiga, all the other states, they want to follow suit. So it's better we come together now to make sure that we all are forward thinking. What we are saying now is that let's look at Nigeria in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, 3 decades from now. The children that we are feeding now, they are going to be the leaders of they'll be sitting here 30 years from now. Let's give them an enabling platform to thrive, to grow, to make sure they are going to contribute positively to the human capital development of this country, to make sure they will not continue to be a security threat to us, to make sure that we are setting the pace for our future. The future of Nigeria should start now with National Homegrown School Feeding Program. It's not just Princess or Mr. President or Vice President, it's all of us. We must come together, and I've told my team right now, let's start the future starts now. Model 50, 35, 15 CSR model. The future starts now. Let's all come together as one, as a body, as Nigerians, to make sure we feed our children in public school in early years, primary 1 to 6. Thank you very much.
So concise. In fact, she has driven it down. So model CSR model.
No.
Yes, CSR model.
No, let me tell you now.
Okay.
It's 50, 35, 15 CSR model. The future starts now.
50, 35, and 15 CSR model must start now.
Let me say it again,
Okay,
please.
say it again.
Sam, please project it. It's 50, 35, 50 for the federal government, 35 for the state government, 15 for the local government, CSR model. So I call it 50, 35, 15 CSR model. The future starts now.
So the future starts now. 50, 35,
15
CSR model
The
starts
future
now.
starts now.
So it has stuck in my head. Nobody will
So we are
forget
going
it.
to do hashtag it. I want everybody to follow and start that conversation.
Yes.
We, with the presidential team right here, vice president team, we are ready to work this, and I'm sure some people in the National Assembly, they are ready to work with us, because again, once we're able to institutionalize this, then we can guarantee that every day we can feed these children at least one nutritious meal a day. Then you are looking at the value chain. Then the smallholder farmers, they can thrive. Our women, they can have employment. Our youth, our supply chain. So it's an holistic, approach that everybody that is part of that value chain will get something, including our children.
I can see you are so passionate about it. In fact, it has stuck to my head because you have nailed it. Thank you very much, Princess. It's been a wonderful time. In fact,
let's take picture.
It's been a privilege.
Thank you.
For your insight, getting your insight from the perspective of your passion. And and also you've been a subject matter expert. You have done it before. You have a wealth of experience. Thank you very much, distinguished panelists. Thank you so much for your contributions.
Okay. Thank you so much. Please, Representative or Honorable Minister, please, can you just give us a closing remark and vote of thanks so that everybody will go home? You guys have done very well. We have come to the end of this event, please. So let's hear from the Representative or Honorable Minister of State Minister of FCT. Hajia, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, we thank Almighty for bringing us to the end of this forum. Our appreciation goes to the organizers for this wonderful initiative. And then we in FCT, by God's grace, we are going to put hands together to see how homegrown school feeding will kickstart with full force, inshallah, with other stakeholders, organizers, rural community leaders, and then development partners, all present here. We really appreciate. And may God Almighty take us back to our various destinations. Thank you very much.
One more time, can we appreciate Hajia? With that, we've formally come to the end of the National Policy Forum on the institutionalization and implementation of the homegrown school feeding program for sustainable economic growth and financial inclusion in Nigeria. ActionAid team and the organizers will send the presentations to you later via email. Do have safe trip back home and see you next time.